Hello, YouTube. Yep, I'm on the fucking floor. Normally, this is how I would be. I usually have about 5 cups of coffee before I make a video, so. But this is my normal state when I'm not working. I'll be lying, stagnating on the floor. Yeah, anyway, today I want to talk about this thing that's been on the news recently with that bloke, David Nutt, that government researcher of, into drugs and alcohol and all. And he came out of that ridiculous, absurd fucking, conclusion, report that said tobacco and alcohol are more dangerous than cannabis. Now this is what this is what pisses me off. The news only focuses on that one fucking drug that, he didn't just say cannabis, for starters. He said cannabis, ecstasy and LSD. Okay? And all the fucking media give a shit about is the cannabis thing. I mean, cannabis has been demonised by the media for a very long time now. It's getting a bit, it's just sad, really. I'm not saying that cannabis is a completely clean sort of herb. I call it a herb because, I don't like it, the word drug's a bit dirty. I personally love cannabis, I've used it, I use it, I don't use it nearly as much as I used to. I'm not denying the fact that it can become addictive. That's the main problem with it. Every week, people are dying because of their alcohol addiction or their nicotine, their cigarettes or cigars, whatever they fucking smoke. Now, you can easily just come at me and say, well, when you smoke weed, you mix it with tobacco. Well, you can. Don't have to. Last time I did it, I used a vaporizer. So, up yours. So yeah, this guy comes out with this thing which is just, the guy is doing his job. The guy is doing what he's paid to do. He goes and does it quite accurately. Comes out with a conclusion which you don't like the sound of, so you fucking fire him. That, to me, is sad. It's greedy as well, isn't it? Because all you're thinking about, really, when he came out with that absurd, ridiculous conclusion about the alcohol and the tobacco, you were only thinking about the fucking tax that you put on it. The disgusting amount of tax. And I'm not disputing the fact that, obviously, a lot of that tax goes towards the healthcare for people who abuse these particular substances and end up in serious trouble with serious health conditions. The fact is, right, is that this guy, David Nutt, he picked on society's chosen drugs, tobacco and alcohol. Now, I'm a user of both of them, I consume both of these things. Not tobacco as much, not nearly as much as I used to either, because it's bad for your health. It's quite bad for your health. Some people can smoke loads and survive and not die of cancer or whatever. They're lucky, I don't really think I'm going to be immune to that sort of thing, so I'm trying to cut down on that sort of crap. But what I don't understand is why you just, in some cultures, cannabis has just been completely, embraced. It's just not really a problem. People smoke it, and it's not this sort of horrid, sort of tampered with crap that we're picking up on the streets. That's what the government needs to, if if the government started selling cannabis, decent, properly homegrown, harvested bud, nothing like it, instead of letting some dodgy schlepper sell, this horrid, blended, toxic crap, this skunk stuff on the streets. Cannabis isn't going to go away. It's all, it's been here for a fair old while now. It's developed. People have pissed about with it. People have taken it and blended it and crossbred it, and some people have even added fucking chemicals into it and, made it lethal, and now that, they're selling shit on the streets, it's, the government should fucking, they should look at this, be a little more logical about it. Because, this cannabis isn't going to go away, like it or not, our culture has pretty much embraced it. It's just, it's illegal still, which I find a bit primitive, considering the fact that tobacco and alcohol is... I've experienced the most exhilarating highs with cannabis. It's helped me out when I've been fucking just wanted to... I've had a long day and I just thought, oh my God, that was awful. And so, just go and light up a spliff. I've seen, judging from behaviour of people who are stoned or people who are pissed, people who are stoned seem a lot more happy. They seem to be, and that's not, obviously it differs from person to person, but normally when I've seen somebody stoned, they don't want to go and beat the shit out of somebody. They are just chilled out, they don't give a shit. They just lie there in their stupor and they laugh at everything. Just like I do, I remember, it was great, I remember having a fucking conversation with a bike when I was, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What the government should be looking at, now, I personally don't want them to, because I like this stuff, but they should be looking at fucking salvia. Now, I don't know if anyone's heard of this salvia stuff, but it is incredible. I bought 3 grams of it or something from this head shop in Guildford, and I've just never I've never seen anything like it. You do it in a pipe and it just suddenly, it's like you're on a sort of roller coaster. Well, for me, the first time I just went backwards, just sort of fell into the fucking floor, and suddenly, just fucking everything was whirling around. I was just like, oh my God. And then before I knew it, everything just went sort of like green. And I was looking down on the room, I was like looking down, I don't know what, obviously, I don't know what was going on. And I saw this fucking, the most amazing thing happen, It's incredible, you get the most amazing experience, I saw a fucking bacon man walking across the carpet. Now, don't ask how, it's just how these hallucinogens work. It's incredible. It's quite a mystery. Just this man made of fucking breakfast meats, mainly bacon. I think he had a bit of egg and... the government should be looking at stuff like that. This sort of stuff, this hallucinogenic stuff, is being sold legally. LSD, they've rated as a Class A drug, and yet you can buy the equivalent, something just the same, in a head shop. That, the government needs to, they need to sort their priorities out. What